What is up, everybody? I hope all is well, man. Hey, this is Chris with That Square Sports Podcast. And of course, I'm here to talk about the Los Angeles Chargers and their draft grades for today. And I'm not gonna lie, um, this was gonna be hard because every other team I've done so far, I've excluded the offseason acquisitions and the departures. So I was like, I'm just gonna focus strictly on the draft. And when I first saw the draft, I had to let this marinate. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing these draft grades a little bit later due to the fact that a lot of people, oh man, A plus, oh man, B, and like we really need to sit down and analyze these picks, like and go toe to toe every pick for pick how it's going to work in their defense or their offense or their special teams. So I had a lot of needs for the Chargers. Defensively, a whole bunch. Offensively, receiver, skill position, so on and so forth. So when I first saw the draft, I'm not gonna lie to you, I looked at it and I was like, man, hell no, I ain't messing with this at all. But then, like I said, I started to say to myself, the Chargers might know what they talking about. And I want to reiterate this. I wanted the Chargers to trade definitely at pick 5 to get more capital. I definitely wanted the Chargers to trade for that. If you agree with me, put in the comments I agree and then tell me what else you think about this video. But we'll dive into this. So first things first, obviously, at pick number 5, snagging Joe Old out of the University of Notre Dame. It's an obvious, right? No brainer. They're protecting Justin Herbert. And a lot of people have given Herbert slack for, I guess the whole Jacksonville game, so on and so forth, stuff like that. I really don't think that Herbert is an amazing quarterback, but he's better than the rest of the pack. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would rather have Herbert as a problem than somebody like, in your division, like Adrian O'Connell. You know what I mean? So I understand right then and there. But I will say this about this pick. It solidifies the fact that they about to run this damn ball down y'all throat, whether y'all like it or not. That's definitely what's coming out of this Chargers team right now. Jim Harbaugh is about to run right between these tackles, right? So, with that being said, obviously skill position wise, and like I said, it's hard for me to kind of exclude this, but I have to bring this up, right? The departure of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Everett and Austin Eckler, 4 of your guys who have made some pretty good statements, except for Mike Williams because he's never healthy. But he has made some great circus catches, some awesome YouTube short videos if you really want to get your numbers up. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, okay, they've got a lot of people they've got to address. And the Chargers have this thing where they need to make the playoffs now, right? They grab Ladd McConkey, a receiver. Yes, he is a white wide receiver. I don't know what's going on, but I know this much: the boy can play, and times are changing. You can draft one of them, and you could be fine. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, they are doing decent things in the NFL. Guess what? Wes Walker, Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola? These guys played really good at wide receiver, as wide receivers in the NFL. Adam Thielen. So I really like this Ladd McConkey pick right here. I love this. I loved this for them right out the gate. I know that Quentin Johnston has been a bit of a whiff, so we'll see what him and Palmer do. With that being said, Junior also as well, linebacker out of Michigan. Obviously, Harbaugh knows him very well, style of play. Got that. Justin Ebrich out of Alabama, another defensive lineman who gave Michigan a problem in that game, in the playoff run championship game, the semifinals, right? Yeah, semifinals. So obviously that's another help for their defensive line. And the reason why I like this pick too on top of that is because Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are about to be freaking statues because they're ancient and they're old. And take a deep breath, exhale, inhale. These two guys probably are about to cost the Los Angeles Chargers a lot of coins. And why not bring somebody young in, which I really wanted them to do with that first pick, but it's okay. Bring in some young defensive linemen. They're going to need to do that. Now, also, the next 3 picks, the next 5 picks, are all freaking gold. Defensive back, Therese Steele. Defensive back, Cam Hart. right there, these two guys, Maryland, Notre Dame, these two corners probably could have went in the third round, third or fourth round. I mean, third or second round easily, top, right? I don't know how they slipped through the cracks, but adding these two guys to the Los Angeles Chargers, why do I keep saying San Diego? The Los Angeles Chargers has not only just gave this team a bit of a bright spot at the defensive back position, it has said a lot about the style of defense that Jim Harbaugh wants to run. And I say that because he was heavy with linebackers at Michigan, heavy with linebackers at, San Fran, but it reminds me of the type of defense that he ran at Stanford, where all those really tough, long-arm defensive backs, like the Richard Sherman types, the 6'3s, not kill you with speed, just hard to get off the line type, knock you off your route type players. They just plant like they're just trees. They just plant you in the ground, and it's hard for them to break off these receivers. And that's what I really loved about these two picks back to back. I'm not going to lie. This just increased their secondary a lot. Now, Kimmy Vad out of Troy. A lot of people, who gamble on football really know about this guy a lot, especially in FanDuel. This dude is exceptionally well, knows how to run, got great vision, can get the way Harbaugh's got to set up this offensive line. He's going to have some good run lanes, some very good run lanes. Him, Isaiah Spiller, and if they decide to keep Joshua Kelly, these guys are going to have some really exceptionally good run lanes. I like that. And then, of course, backing it up with two receivers in the seventh round. I hope they do see the field, to be honest with you. I hope Braden Rice does see the field. I actually love me some Braden Rice. I think that he was really great at USC. I also believe that he is a true number one. And also, Cornelius Johnson out of Michigan, just a blocking wide receiver, but can get open, does know how to play his role. Not against that at all. I do like that, the fact that he did grab two Michigan players. So Harbaugh does understand that. But, Rice knows how to get open. Knows how to. So obviously, clearly, skill positions were a need for the Chargers. Outside of that, to me, was edge rusher and defensive backs. With Asante Samuels Jr. there, these guys really have clarified the fact that they are here when it comes to that, and they've got that spot taken care of with old Derwin James. Really, the name of the game for the Chargers is replacing the old and putting them in with the new, mixing them a little bit. So I will say this draft of what they needed versus what had to be taken care of. There's a difference between that, right? So I'll say it like this. They needed to take care of some house cleaning due to the cap, money, all these extra things. But what they needed was players in the position, and they might have overdrafted because they just need to find guys to make it work right now. And I totally get it. It's a state of we need to win now, we need to win now. It's not like how it is in Carolina where we understand that we've screwed up and it's going to take about a year or two for us to get it right. Chargers, on the other hand, because they have their franchise quarterback and they have their keystone coach and they've got some great veteran defensive players who've been to the Pro Bowl. Well, I don't even know if you guys consider the Pro Bowl now in the NFL a thing. I'm kind of skeptical on that, and I'll make a whole video about that, how it's a joke sometimes. But, they've got some pretty solid defensive players that they can really make a change and a difference. You really just need a depth of youth players on the roster. And I understood the draft as I sat down and I looked at it. I actually gave the Chargers an A+ for this draft. They gave them an A. I gave them an A+. The reason why is because they overdrafted what they needed. And it's funny because all these picks might not work out. Let's be real. It's very rare that all your picks in the draft just seem to hit. You can't be like the Houston Texans, like my squad, or the Patriots, or the Rams. It's a system, right? It takes time, and you're throwing numbers on the board to see what works. And it's the law of averages, really, with this, right? You take two defensive backs, you take three wide receivers. You know what I mean? It just says a lot about this team that they know that they've got a lot of work to do. But Harbaugh does have the edge because he knows that a lot of college football players he's had his first hand on. So for the next 3 to 2 years, he's got a good look at what's coming out in the draft. So he might be, looking at that down the road. That's what he might be. I will say this for the Chargers. I didn't discredit this draft. I think that they quietly took care of business. Other than, to me, really, to be honest with you, it was a trade that I really wanted to do at pick 5. But I understood who it might have had been with the Broncos or the Raiders, and that is a division rival. I get it. Maybe if Minnesota would have called and offered the 2 first-rounders, I'll probably be a little bit more excited about it. But I get it. I understand. It is what it is. It didn't happen. So, more or less, a shout out to the Chargers. You guys had a good draft. Let's see what you guys do, and I will be back to revisit here later on the channel. But peace. Let me know what you think. Peace.